Hey there, what is going on? It is Rob from Crypto Bobby, and today I want to talk to you about a big downtrend in the market right now. The crypto market has lost over $15 billion or so in the past 12 to 24 hours. So it's taken a big dip, almost regardless across the board of where you have your money. So let's talk about whether or not this is the start of a greater market sell-off, or if this is just going to be a really good buying opportunity for you. Obviously, interesting trends in the marketplace today. So let's get started. If you are new here, my name is Rob from Crypto Bobby. Would definitely appreciate a subscribe. I come with daily videos on the cryptocurrency space. So appreciate you joining me here today. And outside of that, we're looking at the global charts right now of the total market capitalization for cryptocurrency, and this is within the past 24 hours. Now, the market cap nearly peaked at about $180 billion sometime around 2 a.m. and now is down to below $164 billion. That is about a $16 billion drop in less than 24 hours for the overall cryptocurrency market, from the overall cryptocurrency market. But if we're looking at things over the past month, we do have to take into consideration the fact that, and we've talked about this in the past, that the cryptocurrency market within the past month has really done nothing but move straight up. Now, this is probably the sharpest downturn we've seen in the past month or so, but you still have to put into context where we've come from and how that, for the most part, this was somewhat expected. Can you really expect the overall crypto marketplace to go from $100 billion on August 2nd to $180 billion on September 2nd without any type of significant pullback? For the most part, what goes up in a lot of cases must come down before it goes back up. And I think this is a case of, of that happening right now. Now, alternatively speaking, as somebody who is always hesitant to make any type of predictions, I don't know where things might go in the near future here. Could this just be somewhat of a sell-off as Bitcoin was trying to hit that $5,000 mark or so, and then has plunged back down a little bit, or is this the start of a really significant sell-off in the market where the majority of cryptocurrencies are going to get hammered and going to get hit pretty hard? I personally, I am not sure of really what's going to happen. I think there are conflicting sides on both perspectives, from the people that think this is just a quick market sell-off, really good buying opportunity, and then there's also a lot of people that have heard about a Goldman Sachs research note recently that almost predicted to a T the fact that they nailed their last prediction, but essentially the most recent prediction said Bitcoin was going to go up around to the $4,800 mark or so, and then have a really crazy sell-off down to the $2,000 mark around there. I don't know. I think that seems a little bit of an aggressive sell-off to go all the way from almost $5,000 Bitcoin to $2,000 or so. That would really wipe out a significant amount of market cap for cryptocurrency and be a pretty negative event. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. That would have to be a lot of people to take profits in that scenario. But if we head over to to CoinMarketCap right now, basically everything is down today. Whether it's Bitcoin, leading the charge, down 5%. Ethereum is down quite a bit today, almost 12% on the day. Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Litecoin. One of the few things that's actually held up is Neo, and Neo has, for the most part, been down while everything else has been up in the past couple of weeks. But good to see Neo there actually being the only thing in green towards the top, towards the top 10. Neo being an 11, and outside of that, Neo is really the only thing in the top 20 outside of MCAP, which I have, if I'm being completely honest with you, up 262% today. I have no clue what MCAP is. Maybe it's a pump and dump, maybe it's not. I'm not even going to take a look at it, but maybe that's something we could examine a little bit on another point in time. But up 262% in one day while everything else is down. That's pretty crazy to see. But outside of that, if we're looking specifically at at the marketplace right now, and this is within Coinigy, you could obviously see Bitcoin pretty much pushed up to the pretty close to the $5,000 mark or so, and then got immediately slammed down all the way to $4,600 or so. So within a couple hours, when Bitcoin was really rolling from from its movements up to about $5,000. It tried to hit 5,000 and it just got slammed down like like a little kid going up against a bully. It just got destroyed, especially in this one candle where it hit within 1 hour, going from 4,850 down to about 4,006 and change. So pretty crazy sell volume there to see. And that's been kind of leading the charge. Bitcoin typically, when Bitcoin goes down, the market follows. When Bitcoin goes up, the market follows as well. But when Bitcoin goes down, you can even see the rest of the market usually follows harder. So Bitcoin, while the price movement is definitely down quite a bit, it's only 5% in comparison. Pretty much everything else is down, even at least in the top 20, a more significant amount. If you're looking at Ethereum, really getting crushed at 11.5%. Dash, IOTA, a lot of these cryptocurrencies are getting hammered today. And what I'm looking at now, and we talk about this all the time, is when you are purchasing, is now the time to, is something like now the time to buy? And in my opinion, if you've been sitting on the sidelines or if you've been looking at an entry point, obviously you can't tell whether things from here on out are going to go up or are they going to go down. Things could go down quite a bit more. Maybe Bitcoin goes below, keeps dropping, and then that would, in my opinion, if Bitcoin gets slammed down and keeps going down, the other cryptocurrencies are going to go down with it, and even more so because they typically follow, and then they accelerate the gains or they accelerate the reductions of what happens with Bitcoin. However, when we are looking at these types of movements today, this would be, in my opinion, a good time to buy if you have some money on the sidelines. I'm not saying put everything in, but we always talk about buying on the pullbacks, buying the dips. This is a dip. This is a pullback. You are buying. If you buy now, granted, it could still go a lot further, but you're still not buying at the top. You're buying at a pullback. This is, in my opinion, a good potential entry point for you. Right now, for me, I'm going to watch how things play out, and for the most part, I have everything I need within the market. But outside of that, looking at where things are now, this is, in my opinion, the definition of buying the dips. This is a dip right now. This is a pullback. Could this just be a brief respite? With a lot of people taking profits and then continue to go above 5,000, that is very possible. And if that happens, you're buying at an excellent point. Could this also be a scenario where the market keeps going lower? Yeah, absolutely. That could absolutely be the chance. But even if the market does go lower, you bought at 460, or you bought at 4,600. You didn't buy at 49.50. There are a lot of people that bought up here and that are holding some pretty heavy bags already. So you're at least not buying at the absolute tippy top, which should give you some comfort. So, if you are looking at potential entry points, I think right now is an excellent place to dollar cost average your way in. You don't have to put everything in, but you are buying a dip. It might not be the end of the dip. It might not be the completion of the pullback, but overall, this looks like a potential good place to enter in. And just from a long-term perspective, I mean, if we're going into this and we're just thinking long-term, and I'm thinking just generally speaking from a crypto total market cap perspective, not looking at any of these really in particular right now, but if you're looking at this overall, I mean, you have to, and I talked about, is this going to keep going up? Is this going to keep going up? You have to look at this and think, going up from $100 billion to $180 billion in the course of a month, that's not necessarily sustainable. There's probably going to be some pullback. So it is shocking when you lose $15 billion of market capitalization, and a lot of your crypto might be down 10, 15, 20% today. For the most part, this is somewhat of what you should expect. For me right now, it's not a selling position. If it goes down a lot further, potentially that's something where I look. But for the most part, if I sold it, if you sell at the top, that's one thing, but you also don't want to sell on the, for me, right now, you missed the chance to sell. If you sold at the top, then, fantastic. If you sold where Bitcoin was, if you sold Bitcoin yesterday, if you sold it and the rest of cryptocurrency 12 hours ago, good for you for calling the top, and you could buy back in lower or whatever it might be. But for the most part, I didn't sell the top, so I'm not going to sell the bottom. Buy low, sell high. That's what we're doing. Right now, we are low, so I am not going to sell low. That's just my opinion. Could it go lower? Yeah, for sure. But that's just overall kind of where my head's at and what I'm thinking about at this specific point in time. Now, outside of a couple different things, one thing that I will mention, a couple different cryptos have taken quite a bit of a hit today. Whether it's OMG, Omise Go, that's definitely taken quite a bit of a hit, down 13%. Ethereum has taken a beating, down 11%. I mean, that's another crypto that I'd be looking at right now. I still think it has legs to go over 400. It didn't really get the chance to test 400 because it was following Bitcoin's movement. But I think with the technical advances in Metropolis coming up, I'm looking at Ethereum. So keep an eye, at least I'm keeping an eye on Ethereum. Litecoin's having a nice little pullback today, but still, had a great advance from the Lightning Network. And then, one thing that is fairly interesting, and I did mention it before, but Neo is holding up fairly well in comparison. It's actually up a little bit. So if you had your money within Neo today, you're doing, everybody else is freaking out, and you are actually up a little bit. So that's good to see for the most part. Maybe we're at a position here where Neo has had that drop from the $50 or so mark to, Neo might have had that drop from the $50 or so mark and might be stabilizing as of right now. A little bit early to call that, but when Neo was at $50 and change or so back in mid-August, and has now taken that drop to the $30, $32, $31. This might be a potential good entry point for it. I'm still waiting to see how things shake out if Neo can break out above $36 or go below 30. But encouraging sign if you're holding Neo to see it actually hold steady while everything else takes a dip. Outside of that, I'm really just keeping an eye on what's happening in the market today. I am personally not going to make any big moves. The tendency, I think, is to freak out a little bit when something like this happens. We're taking a look at these charts right now. Obviously, Ethereum has gotten worked pretty good from the highs of 390, and this is one of the majority holdings I have. It was pushing up against 400, never made it, and then just got whomped with a sell. From really 390 or so, sitting above 390 for quite a while, and takes it down to below 360 or 370, below 360, and now it's actually below 350 right now at the 346 on GDAX, trading ETH to USD. So that's a pretty big sell-off as well, and I don't know if it's completely justified or not, but I'm keeping my eye on things just to see how it moves and what's kind of happening as the situation continues to develop. I would advise you to do so. I would think of this really in two ways. This is either a buying opportunity or this is the beginning of a sellback and a pretty big pullback from what has been massive gains over the month of August. Obviously, if you're selling at some point in time, taking profits is taking profits. That's fantastic. If you're looking for an entry point, this might be it. This might be the start of a consistent entry point for you to get in at a cheaper number than was previously over the past few days. So keep an eye on things. Love to hear your thoughts if you think this is the start of a broader market pullback after incredible gains in August, or if this is just a brief respite, a nice little buying opportunity for you. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And outside of that, like I said, my name is Rob from Crypto Bobby. I do daily videos on the subject of cryptocurrency. So hit me up with a subscribe if you are new here. Thank you so much for your time. Rob from Crypto Bobby signing out. Peace.